direction.
So the Wall Street Journal, Kim Ghattas, says ISIS marches to massacre, and in part writes this: as we went to press on Tuesday, ISIS was on the verge of a major military victory in Kobani. The city's fall would mean a massacre of civilians and Kurdish fighters. So soon after Mr. Obama's call to arms, it would also be a blow to American prestige and a huge recruiting tool for ISIS. This early crisis in the Obama campaign exposes flaws in his strategy that will continue to undermine the military effort and the anti-ISIS regional alliance. No successful war plan is static, and Mr. Obama needs to adjust his now if he wants to stop a massacre in Kobani and the continuing march of ISIS. And I think, Willie, it would be a blow to the mission's effectiveness in such a huge way for thousands of people.
And as the Journal said, Willie, and as we talked about at the very beginning, a huge victory for ISIS.
Absolutely. And Kim Ghattas, the ISIS flag, that black flag, is already flying over some parts of Kobani, as you know well. So we're talking about avoiding a massacre here. It feels like it's a little late at this point, doesn't it?
Well, several thousands of people from the town have already left, and they've been flooding into Turkey. There are still several thousand left in the town. But yes, this is a key moment for the coalition. Because on some level, what happens in Kobani could be a template, or I don't know if it's too late, could have been a template for how you do it elsewhere. You have local boots on the ground, the Kurds fighting, and you have airstrikes from the air. It's not unfolding very well, unfortunately, so that template may not be able to be used elsewhere. But when it comes to the Turks, it's also important to ask the question, what exactly are we asking them to do? Are we asking them to participate in airstrikes? Why? Well, there are other countries that are doing that. Are we asking them to send troops into across the border into Syria? And if so, there needs to be a discussion with them about what their concerns are, because no doubt they also are worried about, well, if we send troops, can we get them out, and how is this going to unfold? The same concerns that the U.S. would have about sending troops into a country.
But Mike, if an invading force was on the Mexican border, we wouldn't be asking Turkey to push them back. I mean, I don't understand.
Well, I think one of the issues here, and I'd like to ask Kim about this, isn't one of the unspoken complaints so far has been Turkey's reluctance, sometimes some would say refusal, to address their border situation with the influx of fighters going from Turkey into Syria and the cross-border transportation.
That'd be a great place to start.
Isn't that one of the principal points of contention?
It is definitely a point of contention. The Turks have always said that, a lot of these, supporters of ISIS who cross the border into Syria come to Turkey on tourist visas, and they're not crossing the border with arms. On some level, they're not exactly wrong. I've been looking very closely at the instructions given to ISIS supporters who are coming to Turkey and want to cross to Syria. They're very, very detailed instructions about how to evade sort of Turkish surveillance and what to say when you enter the country. So it's not as simple as just closing the border. Remember, traffic goes in two ways, so you also want to make sure that it's possible for refugees to come into Turkey. But the big picture here is also what matters. This isn't just about Turkey and whether it's closing the border or not. This is about the wider coalition, how this strategy is being implemented, and what is being done within the Arab world to counter the ideology of ISIS.